All right. Welcome to another beautiful Season 6 Calamity game. This time we're going to be watching V2 play INDIO. I know we just saw them play Con last week. I'm expecting some big things. I have not seen INDIO play. Looks like we've got everybody in the lobby now, except for my co-commentator who's running a little bit behind. But he will be here. I'm really excited to see what these teams are going to do. We've got some great maps lined up. We've got one tank ban, the Stritzvon 103B. V2 has opted to ban no maps and ban no tanks. So we're going to play the first three, which you should see on screen here in just a moment. But it looks like we're going to start out on steps. Now, I will say, I can't remember if we've seen V2 play steps, but I do know that V2, they like to poke around, try to find a little bit of an advantage. Once they find that advantage, they're really good about taking advantage of it. So we may see some slower, methodical pokes and prods until they finally find what they're looking for, which is like a tank out in the open, something like that. And we may see them take advantage of it. Now it looks like they're already picking up 3 IS-7, so you know they're going to get a little aggressive with that. We're going to see some real heavy play. Not sure how INDIO's going to choose to counter this, but that many IS-7s in one spot, if you're caught out, that's a little bit rough. That's a little bit rough. That's going to be, with good focus fire, the amount of meme bounces it's going to get on the side armor, those IS-7s are going to be real tricky. So it's really important.
I've seen 3 IS-7s in a single match before.
Oh my God, there's Mr. Kaysen.
I am indeed.
All right, is the room still open? Can you get in?
I just loaded in a custom game, so it's pulling up all the things. Running violently behind.
It's okay. A behind is on time if you're here at exactly 8 o'clock, which is when the game's supposed to start, so you're doing good.
I will take it.
You're doing good. We're starting out on steps, and they're playing a really interesting lineup. So V2 has 3 IS-7s, 3 Bat Chats, and a Leopard 1. And you can only imagine what kind of destruction that's going to cause. That is going to be rough. And there you are. Nice. All right. We've got everything squared away now. So we're watching, I don't know if you knew this. We're watching V2 again. I mean, we watched them last week, right? So this is going to be, no, wait, you weren't here for that. You were here for the DZ Legion game. So these are two new teams for you. This is
going to be a new team for me. Yeah. Kind of listening to you talk about kind of that slow poke 'em out play style reminds me a lot of one of the teams that we saw last week. So this should be, we'll see if there's kind of an overlap in a lot of these strategies. I mean, Steps is definitely one of those maps that really kind of helps out with that.
Yeah, we saw that with DZ. DZ was a real slow but methodical play kind of team. It looks like V2 is not going to go for that this round. They may be a little slow and methodical at first to figure out where they want to push, or they may just send every tank to one spot and push it. But you know, with the 3 batches and the 3 IS-7s, some aggressive play is coming very fast. You can see that they are stacked up for it. Something quick and devastating is about to happen to INDIO, and it looks like they're choosing to play kind of a typical defense. However, they do have a Badger. I don't know how you feel about the Badger on this map, but interesting choice for a Badger.
So is this going to be off meta where there's bans and all that good stuff?
Yeah, so I mean there's tank bans, but most tanks are allowed. So the only one that's banned out of the normal set that's allowed, INDIO has chosen to ban the Stritzvon 103B.
That's an interesting ban.
V2 chose to ban nothing, which is an option.
The hustle.
Which is an option. They chose to ban no map and they chose to ban no tank. So we were going to be playing the first 3 maps offered because INDIO ended up banning Sand River.
Good old Sand Driver. That's one of my favorite maps right there.
Certainly a map of all maps.
It and Steps are two of my favorites, so this should be interesting.
I'm super excited.
Man, so you got 3 IS-7s on your lineup. Where do you go here?
I mean, realistically, they're just going to stack them up. Maybe down the D line, push through the D line. Maybe. I mean, they have bat jets, so really, my question isn't where the IS-7s are going to go. It's what are the bat jets going to do? Are they going to push with the IS-7s? Are they going to wait? Like, what is the
very
what's
reminiscent
the play?
of kind of something I've seen previously, kind of push up GHJ straight up the 789 lines. I mean, realistically, if you can't get a Badger up into the A9 climb, what are you going to be able to really prevent that with?
All right, we are going into round number 1 of Indio versus V2. Do you want to run down the Indio side real quick?
Yes, I can. El Kamalo 99 in the Chieftain Mark 6, Voldemort in the Valor, Ruma Prime in the IS-7, Davo in the Bat Chat, along with Dusty Ayers in the Bat Chat, Flama in the Leopard 1, and the GR Valderrama in the Badger.
And on the side of V2, we've got Shorzy in the IS-7, Cutter Deeply in the IS-7, Sir Punter in the IS-7, Cav Ranger in the Batchet 25T, Toasty in the Batchet 25T, XG and Give It To You in the Batchet 25T, and Very Rare Only in the Leopard 1.
I believe we have...
and I realize my game audio is not coming through.
An error going through right here. Looks like we're in counter, and so everybody's not moving.
Yep, that is true. So we're just gonna go back to garage, and we're gonna reset this. Hey, it's probably another bug. It happens. We see these bugs a lot where it goes to random maps and changes mode randomly, and you know, hopefully they're working on fixes for that, because it's quite unfortunate when you see it. Just so happens this is one of them. So good on them for immediately noticing and doing the right thing, backing back out to the lobby, picking the same exact tanks, and we'll get this first round going again in just a couple seconds.
So, you think this is almost guaranteed a north push is on the part of V2 here?
I mean, I've seen them play a lot of pushy things up towards the D line, but with the bat chats, there's really no telling. So back into round 1, this time on the correct, and we're on Vineyards.
Excellent.
Okay, so we're gonna go back and we're gonna do this a third time.
We're gonna really practice this return.
We are gonna yes, we are. Yes, we are. This is gonna be, and as you'll see, nobody's gonna move because yet again, we are back on Vineyards. So let's go back to Team Select.
Everything working as intended.
Yes, the video game is working as intended. Hopefully we'll see that little map in the middle there change from multi-base assault to random to steps, which is our first map. Just give it any second now. Okay, there we go. That is what we're looking for. That is the correct map, the correct mode. Beautiful. And as they say, third time is the charm, and that's what this is going to be, the first round of this series.
It's nice to see that this is a well-maintained game as usual.
Yes, sir, it is. Yep, so we are going to pick up the same tanks again. We're going to try it for a third time. Hopefully it is going to be the correct map and the correct mode this time. And
I think after 3 tries, we should just like run it on whatever map it gives us. I think
we should have played it on Vineyards. That would have been such an interesting game, because that is such a terrible map to play comp on. It would have been awesome.
Have you ever played comp on Vineyards?
I have not, and I don't want to ever.
Highly recommend it. It is some of the most fun you'll ever play.
Ooh. Dude,
with that said, I am a fan of the YOLO. I mean, there is few things that I get more joy from than holding the W key in this world.
All right, I'm going to run down it real quick. So on the side of V2, we've got 3 IS-7s, 3 Bat Chat 25Ts, and a Leopard 1.
Down the side of Indo, we got a Chieftain, a Super Chieftain, the IS-7, 2 Bat Chat 25Ts, a Leopard 1, and a Badger.
And it looks like they are going to play the 890. And they're going to send most of their Bat Chats up there as well. Just have one going to make sure nothing's happening on the 1, 2, 3. INDIO looks like they are setting up for a little bit of an aggressive Leopard poke here just to try to get some spots, which if they can, wonderful, good information. If that Leopard stays for too long and they decide to make that push, that Leopard's probably going to die.
You know, Bryson, I hate to say that I call my shot, but I don't know if you've really been paying attention to the attacking side of the board, but it really appears we're going to be loading up for this kind of south push, which they've got one Bat Chat lit up. Let's see what kind of punish we're going to be getting on him.
Leopard's looking to get...
Leopard's not really able to swing down there and be able to get in an aggressive position to see those IS-7s.
Yeah, and if he's not careful and they realize he's alone, which he's not technically alone, he's got 2 Bat Chats covering, but 2 Bat Chats and a Leopard versus 6 tanks, not going to be a very good trade. So let's see. And one of the IS-7s does get lit, so now they're a little bit aware of where their tanks are. They know that IS-7's probably not alone. It'd be a really interesting maneuver to put a single IS-7 there with them not being able to rotate.
That's something that I've seen actually a fair amount. Normally it's going to be a 5A. But that's not necessarily unusual to see. So I don't think it's worth rotating your heavies down for quite yet, but it appears they've gotten quite aggressive with this Bat Chat that Toasty's in, being able to see that IS-7 hanging out in the Delta 3 area.
It looks like Prime is trying to get himself in that little dip there. Definitely did not spot the Bat Chat. Doubt he's going to be able to.
He did know that he was there looking at his gun barrel. He does know that that Bat Chat is kind of working his way behind him, but I don't think he knows the extent of what's happening.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure. I think he kind of realizes that, yeah, he probably has tanks on every side of him. That's why he's kind of looking every direction at the moment. Really slow play from V2. Like I said, they're just waiting for some kind of information to come out of here. It looks like Toasty's going to poke around a little bit, see what's going on over track, see if there's any kind of maneuver he can make over there. But they're pretty holed up, waiting for something to happen towards the A-cap. So I think right now it's going to be a significantly better play for them to go towards the Leopard with what tanks they have sitting over there currently.
I would be really interested to see how quickly we're going to get that Badger to rotate, just because they know that there is an IS-7 down in the south. They know there's nothing up north. How quickly... Ooh, or do we get back shots on these 2 Bat Chat 25 tons from this IS-7, or is he going to get farmed out if he pokes this? This is going to be a big question here.
IS-7s are rotating through mid. Going to be trying to potentially... Oh, Cav Ranger does get lit on the way out. So they can see Cav Ranger that he's rotating back, which is kind of bad information for what's about to come. Because the I-7s are starting to stack up, waiting on that corner, hoping to not get spotted, which he's too far down at the moment. Cutter Deeply is going to be able to get all the way around that corner undetected.
Now the IS-7s that are rotating north are lit. Let's see kind of what comes out of this.
Looks like the Leopard 1 is taking shots from the Bat Chat up on the hill there. Ooh, getting bled pretty decently.
Looks
I
like
think
that Chieftain Mark 6 might actually be kind of really caught out by that track there.
Very rare only the Leopard 1 sitting in J0 for V2. Not in a very good position right now. He is pretty stuck and is pinned down by 2 Bat Chat 25Ts and the Leopard 1 permanently spotting him where he is.
I'm really curious what they're kind of getting at with Cav Ranger back there in the Bat Chat 25 ton. What's the advantage of kind of keeping him back there in that position versus rotating him up to B1 to try and farm out Room of Prime in that IS-7?
Is anyone moving for you?
Now that you mention it, no.
What is happening here?
I wonder if we're having... I could hear gunfire, but I can't tell from where.
Oh my God, True Vision's on, so they have to restart.
Oh.
That's what it is. That's why they were farming the... That's why they were farming the, yeah. That's why they were farming that leopard. All right.
We were the last ones to know, apparently.
We were. That's why I went over and looked at the Discord. I'm like, there's something's wrong. My internet's fine. They aren't doing maintenance on the fiber tonight, but that's going to be a round for V2, I do believe, unless they want to retract that. But so far, looks like they're just going to give it to V2 for that mistake. Unless Punter says, no, we want to roll it back and play it from here, which I'm totally cool with.
Yeah, honestly, I don't know if I'd really say anything either way on this. It's a matter of, did the host do that after, 13 times of having to restart because of random bugs and such?
Yeah, it looks like they are going to opt to just go ahead and switch sides. So that point will count as the first one of the series. Unfortunate that there were so many errors there, but it is what it is. It's, a couple due to bugs, couple due to just a missed glance there, but it is what it is. So now V2 going to be on defense, but still choosing to play a couple IS-7s.
I don't really blame them. That's the kind of thing, doing a south push that rotates north, that's so deep that realistically, if you went through and really tried to rerun that, it's going to be hard for you to actually be able to accomplish it. There's too many moving parts. The surprise is just such a big deal. So I get even just saying, piss on it. We'll just go ahead and forfeit that round.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's just a really unfortunate first round there for INDIO. Didn't really get a chance, but that's okay, because they still got plenty of games to play. It is a best of 7 after all. V2 has to win 3 more games to take this win.
I didn't even realize that you could have True Vision on as World War II tanks. I thought
didn't
that
either,
was exclusively locked to Cold War.
I thought it was too. Apparently not. You learn something new every game.
Aren't you glad you have spectators that have played the game anywhere between 5 and 6 years ago? But to be able to really be on the cutting edge of World of Tanks knowledge. I don't know. I know that I'm able to claim that I played a battle, what was it, probably a week ago. I did a whole 962 damage in a machine and then fell over and died.
Oh, beautiful.
But I put in that good hard work in order to get that 962 damage.
Yes, you did, man. Yes, you did. And I played a couple comp games, but, I'm a little rusty, for sure.
I helped out in a scrim with Monka, actually, the other day.
Oh, did you? Did you?
I managed to get farmed on steps, actually.
Oh, incredible.
I was playing a Super Conqueror kind of down in the defense side, and I, for some reason, decided I was going to push up early because I have a room temperature IQ.
Yep, they're still discussing still discussing the errors in the chat right now, the match chat for this game. But as of right now, the decision to give V2 the first point after those 3 errors still stands. I think they're still having an ongoing discussion, but I'm sure this is going to start any second now.
I think we should just run it back on province. Standard battle, just winner take all.
I've got it down, yeah. Got it down. I wish they would do some rebalancing because the maps on province are so remarkably bad. The bases, dude, it's just...
There's an NBA variant of province though?
Yeah, pretty sure. And the base is like impossible to capture.
I see nothing wrong with this.
All right, round 2 of the V2 INDIO game. You want to go ahead and go down the INDIO side real quick?
Yes, I will. We got Valderrama and the Chieftain, Camarallo in the 277, Ruma Prime in the 277, Voldemort in the IS7, Dusty Airs in the Bat Chat, Flama in the Bat Chat, and then J Hors in the E4.
I'm going to give up on saying the names to the post-battle results, so I'm just going to go. V2 has a Chieftain Mark 6, 2 Super Conquerors, 3 IS7s, and a Marat. I hate having to say them twice, so I'm just gonna do it at the end.
I respect the hustle at the very least.
All right, V2, way more aggressive forward defense versus what we saw with INDIO. Opting to play heavy on the A cap and only send 2 supers to defend B. They do have a Marat that's also flexing back there. However, they are playing aggressive with their heavies. Bat Chat has managed to spot them. So it's possible because INDIO's so far back, they may reevaluate what they're doing. And INDIO may choose to go to 890.
I think that'd just be the smart play here. I mean, realistically, what do they have that's able to contest that south push? We got a Morat that is hanging out up north, but man, they've really just left a lot of vision out, and they're doing exactly what we kind of thought, and they would go down that J line with the rest of their tanks. I do like this kind of staggered approach.
Voldemort does keep getting spotted, but he's not able to get any spots in return, and they are... Ooh, that's a nasty pin. 2 nasty pins, actually, and that was a really good roll from the IS-7 there. Yeah, he's not going to make that mistake again. I don't think he expected Toasty to be there because the Bat Chat maybe should have spotted him, or he thought the Bat Chat should have spotted him. But yeah, that was a good 900-ish HP that he lost there for minimal, if no return. So that's going to be a little unfortunate on the push. However, they do have 6 tanks ready to go and are making the push down the 9 line.
While they're making this push, what do you think has been more of a telling thing of what the rotation is going to be? Spotting that IS-7 down in the south, or going to be spotting Flama up north?
I think spotting Flama over and over again and him just sitting there, and then also spotting the IS-7 and seeing that he's not moving, kind of a telltale sign that they're probably going to play on the IS-7, because why would they have the IS-7 there? Because, you know, usually your Bat Chat is the flex. I will say Voldemort takes another brutal hit right in the side from the super.
He really is getting gutted here.
He is, yeah. He's getting it pretty good. Prime choosing to rush straight to the ridgeline in front of the Super Conquerors. Not a terrible move. He's got to get out of the line of fire from that gun depression because that is nasty to play against. And now, looks like the Chieftain Mark 6 is trying to hold those supers down, but good hit on the Super Conqueror played by Cav Ranger there. And now they are successfully 3 tanks in on base. V2 is going to have to make a play and play quick. And the IS-7s are rotating as fast as they possibly can to make that move. We see 2 tanks coming in on the 0 line, going to try to push Caramallo out. The Marat is coming as fast, and yep, he's got a good shot to reset the IS-7 there. Yeah, V2's HP is significantly higher. However, wonderful shot from the E4 into Cutter deeply, which actually brings the HP back a little bit. However, they do lose Voldemort and one of their base.
That was a big track on Toasty there.
I saw that. That was huge. Yep. And now it looks like
the Bat Chat is just shredding him. So this HP advantage might actually kind of level out pretty quickly, although that tank advantage is going to be hard to overcome.
We've got a 1v1 going on between Trudeau Blue and El Caramallo. Very even HP. However, the Chieftain Mark 6 does have better DPM. Toasty is coming to assist, however, and it looks like the push is being made to finish out the base.
You hate to see it that they're not going to respect the 1v1.
Yeah, that was really unfortunate because they were neck and neck. I mean, the Chieftain probably would have won off of DPM, but yeah, what can you do? They cleared off base, so now they're just going to go for the cleanup. Just going to push this E4 out here, which he'll do a little bit more damage, maybe. That's an unfortunate
big track by the E4.
Unfortunate track. Bat Chat putting in a little bit of work in the end game, trying to farm some of these heavies, but too little, too late. This is going to be a big round for V2, taking the second side of steps.
Now, while they go ahead and clean this bat chat up, neither team running a light tank on steps is an insane thing for an old person like me to look at.
I know, yeah.
Am I crazy in saying that?
Yeah, I mean, no. I mean, the bat chat's kind of like a light tank in this situation, but I can see where you're coming from. It doesn't replace a T100 LT. Certainly does not. But they're just opting to, I guess, use the clip potential and the damage that the bat chat can do over the T100 in these situations for a push and whatnot. But I'm not going to say I'm a huge fan or against it completely, but you know, it is what it is.
Back in the day, I used to run a lot of AMX 13105 on this map, and I felt like I was essentially throwing just because of the fact that we weren't running that T100. So I couldn't imagine subbing that out for something like a Murad or a Bat Chat here.
That's fair. Yeah, you do lose a lot of vision with it. So on the side of V2, we've got Shorzy in the Super Conqueror, 1 kill, 5,221 damage. Insane game from him. We've got Trudeau Blue in the Chieftain Mark 6, 1 kill, 2,965 damage. Cav Ranger in the Super Conqueror, 1 kill, 2,473 damage. Sir Punter in the IS-7, 0 kills, 1,452 damage. Toasty in the IS-7, 2 kills, 1,207 damage. Cutter Deeply in the IS-7, 2 kills, 1,198 damage. And XG and Give It To You in the Murat, 0 kills, 384 damage.
I'm proud of those IS-7s to be able to get a shot in that game. That's insane that 2 of them have 2 kills. I mean, that's actually impressive on a map like Steps. Usually your job as an IS-7 is to be a meat shield that falls over. But jumping over to the Indo side.
Yep.
The T110E4 being able to pump out 2,600 damage. We got the 277 pumping out 2,500 damage. The Bat Chat 25 ton pumping out almost 1,800 damage. We got the 277 doing 1k damage. The IS-7 doing 500 damage. And the Chieftain Mark 6 doing 400, and then the Bat Chat 25 ton doing 400 damage as well.
All right.
Only kill on the team is going to be El Carmelo in the 277.
Let's get back to our teams here. Looks like we're going to be playing Cliff with V2 on defense first. Nope, never mind. I lied. Indio on defense first. That's how it's supposed to be. Waffle E100 first pick, by the way. How do you feel about that?
I respect the hustle.
Big fan. I mean, I like it. Oh, and they've replaced it with a Foch, which I like even more. I like the Foch even more. That is one of my favorites. You love to see it.
I think they saw me coming. I think they saw me coming. I don't know what to tell you.
I think they did. Now, the real question is, do you think he's running the 155 or do you think he's running the 120?
My heart says 155, but my brain says 120 because the 155 is such a throw.
See, that's the problem, is that everyone is playing with their brains too much when you got to play with your heart. I really hope he's got a full HE or Heat 155 just waiting for this team.
Boy, the Rheinmetall Panzerwagen on Cliff just really brings me back to the good old days of like 2017, 2018 comp. I mean, it was just such a good tank on PC for this map.
Also, 57 Heavy, another throwback tank. We've got a 57 Heavy, we've got a Foch, and on the other team, we've got 3 machines. So something heinous is about to happen from V2.
Yeah, the machine is such a weird tank, isn't it?
You think it's going to be like a bowl push, like a traditional bowl push? Like a 1-2 line they're going to play up there? Or do you think they're going to do something different? Maybe go hill?
The machine might be in its bag with that 8-9 push, but just because you're gonna play hull down, I mean, you're literally a chieftain, right?
I mean, it has some trolley armor. Like it can be difficult to pin a machine when you're panicking, especially with something like a well, they actually have pretty good tanks for dealing with a machine, I guess. I was gonna say APCR is not a huge fan of the machine, and it will bounce ridiculously often off of the hull of that thing. But
I mean, you got what? The Leopard 1, the 277, and the T57 all sling heat, though, out of their premium
Leo 1
rounds.
doesn't sling heat. Leo 1 slings prim APCR, but it has so much pin. Doesn't really matter. The Foch 155 shoots prim APCR if it's using the 120.
Yeah, it swaps over to that heat
the
round.
The Super also does. So I really think the Super and the Foch and the Leopard are the 3 that would have the most trouble with those bounces, but I think at this level of play, probably not going to be an issue.
And the waffle off E100, you love to see it.
Oh my God, they brought it out. Yeah, nice. They somehow saw through the fog of war to Indio's side, realized they deselected the waffle and decided to do it themselves.
Oh, do the spectators see through fog of war now?
Yes. Yes, you do. All
That
right,
is
we're going into
fascinating.
round number 3. First game on Cliff.
All right, I'm going to take the V2 side this time, if you don't mind.
No, you do your
We
thing.
got Trudeau Blue in the Chieftain. We got Shorzy in the Machine, Only Rare in the Machine, Sir Punter in the IS-7, Cav Ranger in the T-95 E6, Cutter Deeply in the Rheinmetall Panzerwagen, and Toasty in the Waffenträger AF 100.
And on the side of Indio, we've got a Super Conqueror, a T-57 Heavy, 2 Object 277s, an IS-7, and a Leopard 1. And a Foch 155. I can't forget the most important tank. Now,
Ooh, do we have a DC this early in the game?
do we? Is it Mr. Davo?
Oh, it appears he is
Davo?
here.
Okay, good.
I just noticed that.
Now,
we
first
didn't
thing
have a
I'm
whole
doing,
lot
I'm
of
going to
movement
lock in
from
on this
him.
Foch 155. I got to see what gun he has. It looks like he's almost reloaded, so 120 it probably is. And 120 it is.
Yeah, I believe, what is it, a 54-second reload with the 155?
Yeah, I think it's like a 38, 36, something shorter with the 120.
It's okay. You could tell me I'm violently wrong.
No, with the 155, it is quite long. Toasty immediately taking a hit.
We have a lot of vision here.
Ooh,
We have a
huge punish
lot
on
of
the
vision.
57. Huge punish.
Oh, and we
Very
have
good
a
clip.
massive bowl push. This is an aggressive defense that we're having right now. I mean, being able to push out Toasty and the awful Waffenträger off E100 with
But
both IS-7 and 277.
even then, he did quite a bit of damage with his first clip before he died. So it's not even a tragic loss, really. I mean, he was just there to like delay the inevitable, right? They've got full bead control now, and he was able to punish the hell out of that T-57 Heavy down to 600 HP. And now they're getting good farm on the 277, who's pushed up.
Wow, that is a lot of bleeding that we have right here. The question is, are they able to make good use of this map control?
Yeah, that machine hit a nasty clip dump right into that 277, along with, I believe, a shot from the T95 E6. And he's still spotted. They can still see him rotating around to the other side.
I'd be
looks like
very curious
Flamma,
to see Cutter Deeply's stat line at the end of this game. I believe he is in a position to shred the Indo position.
Ooh, not in that case, though. Big hit coming out. I believe that was, what, a 277? Maybe the IS-7 that hit that? But
so.
big hit there. That's a nasty shot to take. And now they're pushing the machine. Good focus fire on that machine from all directions.
Cutter Deeply goes down.
Shorzy goes down.
Oh, that is a hard bleed right there on the part of V2.
This has looked like this is kind of turned around. We saw a major bleed from Indio there, but now, I mean, that's it. They've captured the base.
That is a game right there.
I wasn't even paying attention at the time. That was so quick.
Quick cap,
right.
Absolutely.
That's what you like to see. All right, go down the side of V2 if you want to.
All right, so we got Toasty and the Waffle off E100 who went down immediately. That had 1,700 damage. That's impressive that he was able to top the team after going down. What, within probably a minute before anybody else? And then we have Very Rare in the machine with 1,300 damage, Shorzy in the machine with 1,000 damage, Cutter Deeply in the Rheinmetall Panzerwagen and 700 damage, True Blue in the Chieftain with 400 damage, and Cav and Punter got shut out.
All right, and on the side of Indio, we've got J Hors in the T-57 Heavy, 0 kills, 2,209 damage. We've got Flamma or Flama in the Leopard 1 kill, 1,584 damage. Dusty Airs in the Object 277, 1 kill, 1,186 damage. Ryuma Prime in the IS-7, 1 kill, 1,021 damage. El Caramallo, sorry, in the Object 277, 0 kills, 455 damage. And we've got 2 Goose Eggs for the Foch 155 and Super Conqueror, played by GR Valderrama and Davo, whatever that is.
It is very rude of them to hold that Foch 155 to nothing. I mean, that hurts my feelings
That does hurt.
Personally.
That does hurt. And you want to know why he got nothing? Because he didn't use the 155. If he used the 155, he could have pushed, he could have dumped, and then boom, his hit points are already there.
It's that easy.
It is that easy. And now we're going to see a wonderful second game on Cliff here where V2 is going to be defending. However, it looks like they're picking almost the same exact tanks.
I respect the hustle here.
Which I guess they're just going to maybe substitute out that waffle for that third machine, but essentially going to play it very similar. And then with INDIO, also fairly similar, given they traded the waffle or the Foch for the waffle. Okay, Toasty's playing the mouse, which makes me think D2 mouse. We're going to see a D2 mouse go down towards bowl and just play bowl.
I mean, usually a mouse is very indicative of them just throwing him by himself by the bowl and then pushing everyone else somewhere else.
All right, let's head on into round number 4, second game on steps, and see what's going on here. On the side of INDIO, we've got an E5, a T57 Heavy, two Object 277s, an IS-7, a Leopard 1, and a Waffenträger off E100.
We have on the side of V2 a mouse being played by Toasty, Shorzy in the machine, very rare in the machine. True 2 Blue in the machine, Sir Punter in the IS-7. XGN, give it to you in the T95 E6, and Cutter Deeply in the Brahmatal Panzerwagen. Man, XGN is a gamer tag I haven't seen in years.
However, it holds so many memories. As one of the biggest gamer communities that existed was XGN.
One of the OG clans of the game in terms of console, anyway.
Yeah, they had a million people. All right, it looks like starting out, Toasty is going to be playing D2. However, he's got a rude awakening if they realize that he's alone, because Toasty is going to die very fast. They have opted in for a an offensive bowl push. However, Flama, whatever it is, not having a great time. He's unfortunately in a 1v4 or 5 situation here. And it's looking pretty rough for him. They're getting some good shots now on the punish here on this machine. Good focus fire on very rare only. Got him down to a 2-shot. And they have not put much punishment in return. The machines have bounced quite a few rounds off of these 277s. And now the 57 Heavy going for a wonderful mag on Shorzy, finishing him all the way out. I don't think he missed a single round in that clip.
Man, I'm really concerned about this mouse and kind of how he's been kept out of the game by this. I believe it's a Waffenträger. I think things are going to get ugly now that he's on reload.
Yeah, this push here, this is going to be a cleanup for all the tanks in mid, leaving them with only Cutter Deeply on the hill, and Punter is out of the fight for at least a little while, which is going to cost them. Once they get rid of the E6, they're going to go for the machine, clean him up pretty quick. Punter is just now able to get back in the fight.
We have the mouse pushing out the waffle, but it looks like that waffle is going to be able to clip him out whenever he comes around the corner.
Here comes the push. Good focus fire on the machine, getting him out in just a couple seconds. And now they just have Punter to deal with. Cutter's just kind of like a pain for them now. He's not able to do too much in this situation. Got great DPM on that little light tank, but not enough to kill a full health E5 and a nearly full health 277, along with very healthy IS-7 and T57 Heavy. So Punter, while he's doing a great job of delaying, is going to go down in just a couple seconds here as they surround him and fill him with a couple of rounds.
That's a hard result right there.
It is not much Punter can do.
Finally goes down. Sorry, I was distracted by the mouse versus waffle 1v1.
Oh, you're good. You're good. Hey, Toasty still has 956 hit points. He can bring this back. I've seen Toasty do more than that.
The young goat Cutter Deeply, can he clutch this 5v1?
Cutter is relatively safe for now. However, they do have a 57 Heavy coming right up on him. He's going to have to make a move. There is a tank waiting in every direction for him. He is going to try to get out.
They have base pressure.
He does a little spin there, a little unfortunate spin there.
Ooh, that T110 E5 is
going to that E5's DPM is going to start tearing him up. He's going for the 1v1.
Ooh, the upper plate's not where you want to aim.
Yeah, I believe he was going for a track shot there, possibly.
If there's one thing I remember about the Rheinmetall Panzerwagen is do not shoot on the move. I'm not gonna lie, I kind of hated that tank. My first tier 10 light tank, hated the thing. I don't understand how anybody did anything in that thing.
And here we have a 1-3 game. Indio able to take the attacking side of Cliff. So if you want to go ahead and go down the V2 side.
Yes, sir. So on the V2 side, we had Toasty and the Mouse pulling off a kill and 2,700 damage. Big game by him. He held down his side of the map. XGN giving it to you in the T95 E6 with 2,100 damage. Cutter Deeply in the Rheinmetall Panzerwagen with 1,300 damage. True to Blue in the Machine with a kill and 800 damage. Sir Punter in the IS-7 with 800 damage as well. Very Rare Only in the Machine with 700 damage. And Shorzy in the Machine also with 700 damage.
And on the side of India, we've got Ryulma Prime in the IS-7, 0 kills, 2,919 damage. We've got GR Valderrama in the WT off E100, 0 kills, 2,585 damage. We've got El Caramalo in the Object 277, 0 kills, 2,419 damage. We've got Davo in the T110 T110 E5, 1 kill, 2,148 damage. J Hors in the T57 Heavy, 2 kills, 1,839 damage. Dusty Airs in the Object 277, 3 kills, 1,410 damage. And Flamma in the Leopard 1, 0 kills, 1,274 damage. Now, I will say, during that initial push, once they got through ball up into hill, insane clip from the T57 Heavy. He hit, I believe, all 4 rounds on the Machine and put him down his entire hit points and got him killed.
That's a big deal.
Almost
Being able to
immediately.
hit your heat shells with the T57 Heavy is not a guarantee, especially whenever you're going against something like a Machine, because you don't have that overmatch feature.
However, I will say the APCR on the Machine is significantly worse, in my opinion. It is so trolly to play against. However, heat, a little more reliable whenever it comes to pinning the Machine. And you kind of see that with the 57 Heavy. I think so. And you kind of saw that with the fact that he pinned every round on that guy, and I'm pretty sure his front was to him. Caveat to that, the Machines that were playing for V2 in the mid there towards the cliff, towards the hill where Cutter was playing, they did not get a lot of pins on the 277s when they pushed around the corner after coming through bowl. So that was a huge, huge issue for V2 and allowed them to get a basically full health push straight into the tanks that remained after that huge clip from the 57 Heavy. And it was a big, big issue for V2. So Indio, good job cleaning it up. And now we get to see Westfield.
This is a map that you really didn't see much of back in the day.
I know, yeah. Westfield was probably one of the rarer ones for sure. Yeah. But now, I mean, we see a lot of good games. Now we see primarily a lot of slow games, right? Because the ones we were watching, pretty slow. Because I mean, they'll make a push. They'll either play like the ABC line. They'll sit there for a while, or they'll set up on the K line and they'll sit there for a while. And it's basically whoever makes the first mistake with positioning is who's going to lose. So you don't really see a lot of super fast plays. Really interesting choice. We've got a 4005 on the side of V2, and we've got a KPZ 07 on the side of Indio. It's looking a little bit off meta. And MBTB as well. Okay, we're getting some interesting choices.
Is that one of the experimental leopards?
Which one is that? The KPZ?
The Kampfpanzer 07.
Yeah. It's kind of looks like a modern Leo 2K almost. Very Leo 2K-ish. You'll have to look at it when the game starts up, but yeah, it reminds me kind of a more modernized leopard, kind of like the 2K.
It reminds me a lot of the nomenclature they used on some of the experimental leopards that they came out with.
I think that's kind of what it is. I think it's roughly before they started going towards like the Leopard 2K route. But we're going to head on into game number 5. First side of Westfield. You want to go ahead and run down the... I'll take the Indio side this time. I'll swap back to V2.
Yeah, you got to keep it interesting. So we got J-Hors in the Chieftain Mark 6, Ruma in the Kampfpanzer 07, El Camalo in the MBTB, the Davo in the Batchat 25-ton, Dusty Airs in the Batchat 25-ton, Flamin the Leopard 1, and GR Valdermama in the Foch 155.
And on the side of V2, we've got an E5, 3 Marats, a Centurion AX, a CS63, and believe it or not, an FV 4005 on Westfield. Beautiful, beautiful tank to see.
Man, is there anything more recognizable by a nickname than the FV 4005, other than its brother with the that shares the same cannon?
Yes.
Honestly, I think I recognize the nicknames of both the 183 tanks more so than I do the real names.
Oh my God, what just happened to...
Whoa!
Oh, huge kill for V2 there. That was an insanely good play. And they get a little bit of punish on some of the tanks in the back, but wow. That Leopard was not expecting such a fast Marat push. That is a huge loss. That is rough. That is one of the fastest plays that we've seen on Westfield to date. I mean, we've seen a light tank go down that fast, but never a Leopard 1.
I thought for sure that the 4005 had a shot in there, but I don't think he did.
No, the Marats were able to punish that fast with minimal return. They got one shot in return. That was it. What a huge kill. And now they're just going to play it more aggressive. They're going to play that hill there. And the MBTB is just going to try to slow him down. But, I mean, what can you really do? Toasty getting lit there, but now they know the FE4005 is there. They're getting a little sketched out, I'm sure. Cutter Deeply choosing to play through town, get a little side shots going on this MBTB. Making him play down.
Oh, we got J-Horse taking a lot of farm here.
That's a really rough position to be in. Huge shot from the FV4005, I believe, on the MBTB. Yikes. Oh, good focus fire on the Marats in return, though. Wow. Very rare, went down very quick, and so does Shorzy. It's actually pretty even here. This is shocking to me. Cutter Deeply's going for the push. This might be a mistake. This might be a mistake from V2. This could be bad.
If the MBTB is able to survive this push, then they really got a huge advantage.
Foch 155 takes massive bleed, though. That's unfortunate. He's got to stay unspotted and live this if they want a chance here. Oh, he's still spotted. There he goes.
First round of Westfield, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, this has been a rough trade. However, the CS is probably going to go down here. It looks like he's getting shot from the KPZ out sitting in the traditional K4 spot, and he goes down.
And he gets killed, yeah.
This is a shockingly even game for how fast the Leopard 1 got taken down.
I mean, we're looking at essentially even hit points here.
I think V2 got a little bit overzealous. See, now
that Chieftain not going down really is a big difference maker here.
They're going to play it slow and they're going to play it smart now, which is good. That's a good move. Toasty.
And now that Marat is locked into place. Oh, that's a big hit by J-Horse.
Oh, big kill, too.
And he goes down for it.
That's huge. That's huge. That's what you like to see. And I mean, that's a kind of a damning situation for Indio, because that was their anchor heavy.
It depends who you're talking to here. I mean, that might be exactly what you want to see, depending on who you're rooting for.
I guess that's fair. That's fair. If Toasty gets a single good shot out on one of these bad chats, that's going to be a really bad day. If he doesn't get a shot out on one of these bad chats, it could be a good day for Indio in return. So we're going to see how that goes.
It really depends on... Man, you're not going to one-tap either of the bat chats, so the 4005 is almost certainly going down if he gets farmed.
You don't think he can one-tap the bat chat?
What's the max roll in the Hesh round?
Oh, more than 1365. The APCR is 1100.
Is it? For some reason, I thought it was 1350.
Is it 1350? I thought it was like 1600 or something, like 1500, something weird. Maybe I'm thinking of PC. Maybe they're different. I don't know, but I feel like he can one-shot the bat jet. Oh, I like that Ryuma Prime is already shooting the building that they're gonna try to hide behind. He's already taken it out.
Heads-up play.
That is a very good heads-up play. I think he was kind of maybe thinking the Marat was gonna play there possibly, but the Marat's just kind of playing it safe up in the BA area. However, Sir Punter's going for a long rotation. Long rotation.
Global warming here. He's a big fan of big corporate, huh?
I will say, if the bat jets get spotted, Punter's got good shots into the side, if not back of them. But I don't know what's going to spot the bat jets where they're at right now. They seem pretty safe. So Punter's going to play it pretty aggressive. And the Marat, I think, is going to try to get spots here. I think that's what the Marat is pushing back up for. I think Punter's communicating, hey, I'm behind them. I need to see something. Once I do, good things will happen. But the bat jets are playing it so safe, I don't think he's going to get that right now, which is smart because they're on defense. What do they need to do?
I just now noticed that the Compound 07 is actually a heavy tank.
It is. It's a heavy tank, yeah. I think it's probably closer to a modern Leopard. One of the like MBT Leopards, right?
Yeah.
What it looks like. Yeah.
Well, maybe not modern. It kind of reminds me a lot of a elongated turret off of an Abrams.
Ooh, good blind fire on Toasty. First shot in, he gets a blind fire on Toasty.
I mean, he's hitting the broadside of a barn, am I right?
That is very, very true.
It's in the name.
He's just a little bit to the right.
The only concerning thing about slinging all those nice, pretty heat rounds at the 4005 is, if there's one thing I know about the Leopard is it doesn't have a lot of armor. One of those Hesh rounds would really ruin his day.
Yeah, he's just shot shy to the right of Toasty. Now he's shooting significantly to the left, so maybe he'll hone in here in a second. Oh, really close. Just off to the left side of him that time.
You know, I'm really interested to see what they're trying to do with Davo back here with the bat chat. It seems like he's trying to load up for...
The Marat being really aggressive. He's trying to get spots on these bat chats so Punter can get a farm. But Punter is spotted.
To the mid to be able to get a spot.
Yep, there's Punter's spot, and he's going to get a good punish on the bat chats here, but... I mean, his whole goal is to get up here and spot this FV4005. He's going to just risk his hit points for it, which is fair.
I mean, that 4005 is just staring at that ridge line.
He is, and he's gonna give it to Dusty, and there it is. Didn't even get lit for it.
To see it.
Didn't even get lit for it. Now he does. Now he has got to kill this 4005 right now. He cannot afford to let him get away. He's got to put that final blow in.
Oh,
bad fire though, huge fire.
There.
Oh, that's gonna be it for him.
Down for this one.
I think.
Are they able to take down that 4005 in the process?
Don't believe so. He is unfortunately safe behind that building. Ryuma does not have a shot.
It appears we could go ahead and start reading off the scoreboard now, ladies and gentlemen.
I do believe this is looking a little glim for V2. However, there is still a slight chance because they are running low on time. They're either going to have to put 2 tanks on base, get on right now, or just push him. Which it looks like Punter is opting to just push him. And they've got 2 tanks on base. So they're actually doing both at the same time.
I'll tell you what, he's like
big hit though. Huge hit into Toasty.
Oh, and that is a bounce. So that means we are an even playing game depending on what the DPM of these tanks are.
Let's get over here and watch this 1v1. Centurion's going to have more DPM, but the KPZ doesn't have a terrible DPM. But I don't believe he's going to be bouncing any more shells from Punter after that on-the-shot move. He's kind of honed in here.
It seems like they're just standing and banging here.
Yep, this is a good way to finish it off. Good, respectful 1v1. While the base ticks down.
Those marks.
Oh, big hit from Toasty.
I'll tell you what, nobody respects the 1v1
Nobody respects the
nowadays.
1v1 anymore, I know. Quite sad.
Ooh, Ruma actually might be able to get his mark this game.
That is true. All right, on the side of V2, we've got Pernix the Swift and the Marat, 2 kills, 3,984 damage. Toasty in the FV4005, 2 kills, 3,461 damage. We've got Sir Punter in the Centurion AX with 1 kill, 3404. Shorzy in the Marat, 0 kills, 1237. Very rare only, Marat, 1 kill, 866 damage. Cutter Deeply in the T110E5, 0 kills, 588 damage. And XGN Give It To You, 1 kill, 560 damage in the CS63.
We have Room of Prime in the Companzer 07. Oh, can I read this still? I can. With a kill and 4,800 damage. GR Valderrama in the Foch, kill and 1,900 damage. J Horrors in the Chieftain with no kills and 1,800 damage. El Carmalo, I feel like I butcher that every time I say it. In the MBTB with 1,700 damage. Dusty Airs in the Bat Chat with a kill and 1,400 damage. Davo in the Bat Chat with a kill and 1,400 damage. And Flama in the Leopard 1 being shut out.
Yeah, so that was a pretty crazy game from the start. I mean, Leopard 1 goes down instantaneously. What a wild experience for the Leopard 1 there. I'm sure that was not an enjoyable time. But it wasn't the end of the world for INDIO. They actually managed to bring it back, make it very even. I think V2 got a little over aggressive, which is, understandable. They did just get a free kill. They have an FE 4005. They want to get a shot onto somebody with it, just for the memes. But it did cost them a little bit, and they lost a couple more rats just due to that aggressive push. They lost Cutter, and they lost the CS63. Amazing game from Ryuma Prime. He was able to farm all of that aggressiveness from the V2 side once they did kill the Leo 1. But just wasn't enough. Just wasn't enough. Losing that tank so early did have its cost.
Yeah, once you get a deficit of people, at least whenever you're dealing with a 77 situation, I mean, it's so hard to dig out of that.
Yeah, well, good games, and man, that couldn't have been more even to the end there. That was a wonderful first round and a wonderful experience from both teams. Big thank you to everyone that's watching this stream or the recording. And a huge thank you to these two teams for participating and keeping the game's competitive scene alive. So I'm going to go ahead and send it off to the victory scene if you don't have anything else, Kaysen.
Yeah, I mean, I like to run my mouth, so we could go ahead and talk for a minute longer.
Yeah, go for it.
I think it's really interesting how we had both Westfield and Steps as our two maps that we kind of ran down here, excluding Province, obviously. There was no light tanks played the entire time. I don't think I've seen a single one.
We had the Ram on hill. Cutter was on the hill. On Cliff, at least.
Oh, yeah, I forgot that we played Cliff.
Yep. But in Steps, we didn't see any light tanks. On Westfield, we didn't see any light tanks. These two teams, not huge light tank players. However, they do substitute it for things like Marats. They substitute it for things like CSs, Bat Chats. We mainly saw the light tank be substituted for like a Bat Chat on Steps, right? Instead of taking the T100 LT, they're like, yeah, we're just going to push anyways. Screw it. We don't want the T100. We want the DPM, the clip. Which, I'm not sure how well that worked out. I'm not a huge fan, but I'm also not totally against it.
Yeah, the lack of vision is one thing that's really interesting. Both Westfield and Steps, I feel like, are very big vision maps. Whereas, I mean, you got a map like Cliff where vision really doesn't even matter, and that's where we saw it pop up.
Yeah, that is interesting. Yeah, I do wonder why they didn't choose to put something like a CS63 up there, maybe. Maybe they thought they couldn't get it up there in time, but it seemed like Cutter got there for free each game, so... and there's no way that they would have known that, but I would have maybe liked to see a CS up there instead, or maybe something like a Leo.
What about like a UDES 1516? Those back in the day used to be beastly with their siege mode on those medium tanks.
I'm not sure how good the UDES is on console. I don't think I've seen it played one time in any of the games that I've covered or watched. I've seen the Kron, but I don't think I've seen the UDES.
Have they gave the Kron the 3-bullet autoloader yet?
I really don't know.
I really hope so. That was a fun tank back in the day. I was a big fan of Kron on console as well, but man, the 3-bullet autoloader was just such a monstrous cannon.
It really was, yeah. It really was. And I mean, the UDES on PC is quite a good tank. I run it quite often. I enjoy it. It's very good. However, I don't know if that's the case on console, so I'm not going to fault anybody for not using it. But, you know, in games like this where you see an FV4005 and a KPZ come out, there's no telling that a UDES could, you know, make an appearance at some point, but...
Yeah, it's just one thing that I've seen in the past anyway that I don't know if I'm still seeing nowadays, but like with a heavy lineup like that, it'd be really nice to see. I think the Siege mode is a little bit jank to say the least, from what I've heard from a lot of people that run it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, wonderful games. I had a great time. Hopefully everyone else did as well. Hopefully you did. Halo. I mean, can't ask for many better games than that. Pretty down to the wire on a couple of those there.
Absolutely. I mean, that at any point that could have went either way.
And I'm excited to see what the next game from these teams bring. I know that V2 we've watched a couple of times, and V2 seems to be pretty decent, especially in NA2. They're doing good. So I'm excited to see where that leads them. And I know that we've got a couple more games coming up tomorrow. I'm going to be streaming the UXCan game. I'm not quite sure who they play. I actually need to look that up. But I think that's coming up tomorrow at 8 p.m. EST. So if you're interested in watching that, make sure you go follow the channel and turn those notifications on. Or I believe there's some notifications you can turn on in the WCL Discord as well. I will ping you guys whenever that comes up. But thanks for watching. Great games. Thank you to the teams for showing up and playing their hearts out today. And I'm going to go ahead and send us off to the victory screen.
That works for me.